in areas of campus, and it's not right for anyone to ever step onto a campus and not feel safe or feel that they are marginalized because of their ethnicity, whether it be.
But if we tell you these things are marginalizing us, how is it your place to tell us that that is not marginalizing us?
I'm not sure I understand your question.
So I believe I can answer that.
Yeah.
This is Ian. He's our new finance chair.
Ian, what?
Ian Smith. I'm the new finance chair.
Is this because finances or what?
Where do your finances?
No, stop. Let him finish.
I mean, this is a group of individuals meeting. We're not technically YAF at the moment. But a core tenet of constitutionalism is that your rights end where another person's rights begin. And the right of any single person here to freedom of speech and freedom to say essentially what they want within reason without inciting violence against other people.
But you're inciting violence. I'm being
Direct
attacked on a national
physical violence.
You know, when the Constitution was written, I was a slave. Black people were slaves when the Constitution was written. So who wrote the Constitution? How was they to say when their rights ended, that's when another ones begin? When there was a whole population that was enslaved and Native Americans that were being killed actively.
Still being killed.
Another question. So, can you give me an example of an intellectual safe space that you'd want to get rid of, like an example?
I'm sorry, may I answer her first and then get to you?
Yeah,
I would like to take
because your Constitution is flawed if you didn't know.
Okay. If you have a problem with the...
It's the law of the land you created with your entitled ass.
But who am I?
I can tell you your constitution.
Yeah.
I'm the Constitution back and forth, and the laws that subsequent goes after the Constitution. I sit in my law class and tell the professors who are lawyers the Constitution.
So law of the land don't fly here.
You should message your senator. Do something.
Continue, Ian.
Okay. So... I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought. There was so much back and forth there.
You're back to the Constitution where your rights ended, another one began, and that's why we should adhere to the Constitution that was written by primarily all white men, but primarily wealthy, slave-owning white men.
Okay, so if you believe that the Constitution is outdated and doesn't represent you, then I would absolutely...
I can't wait till you talk about power agency because I don't have none, honey.
I would absolutely condone that you talk to your representatives and get them to try to change the law.
Do you think the black community have efficacy in government, but when we have a representative government called the Republic that does not represent or resemble me? My narrative will never be shared with the government that dictates this country, the law of the land as you called it. But you know the law of the land is killing black men unarmed on camera.
Well, do you want to say
The law of the land will never accommodate me, so you're going to tell me to go have fruitless efforts and talk to my congressman. That's your solution if I'm not okay with you spreading hate rhetoric? That's your solution?
I would ask you.
Literally, real science begin. I want you to look real hard at that photo. That's science white folks did. Go and flip it over and show people. Now, this right here. I wish real science would go back again. What is that? That's what y'all believe we was, and that's what you were reinforcing the world.
No, that's not.
That tweet came out of our video.
What is it?
That is what I'm getting on Twitter. I wish real science would come back again. That's what your group causes. So you're creating unsafe spaces, trying to destroy safe spaces.
And we do not condone.
Why haven't you spoke out on it
hold
yet?
them
Why haven't you
accountable.
spoken out? Because you don't care.
You said you don't want to police the internet.
You don't care.
I said if I could stop racism in every facet, I would, but I cannot.
You're promoting racism.
Do you understand that what you are doing breeds racism? If someone who is affiliated,
I don't believe that in marketplace.
I need you to listen to me right now.
Okay.
If someone who is part of your group is able to tweet this
No members.
to this woman,
Are you going to say no members from your national group tweeted that? Because they all adhere
No
to
one-
Young American Foundation.
No one at this table.
doesn't
That
matter.
doesn't
The group that the organization
I do
you
not
adhere to.
associate with people.
Then
who
why are you
believe
part of
why
the
Why do they
Young
support
American
you?
Freedom?
What are you doing that allows them to put their name and words and images that they support and associate
In the name
it
of
with
God.
your group? Then why are they doing that? How can you not connect that in your brain? Why are you not doing that, right? Why are you speaking out against it if you are not associated with it? Like, literally, it's not that hard of a thought process.
Our argument's based on
Speak up, let everyone hear, let everyone
I
hear.
want to know what kind of groups are you trying to give? Can you give me an example of a group that you've been?
She's asked that several times.
So like, what's an intellectual group that you give me an example, like a specific example?
Well, an example that I believe, and also this is really dear to me because I feel that it undermines the very basis of conservatism that I truly believe in, and that's the alt-right. The alt-right online, I believe, is evil. They spread racist propaganda against people of color. They're very extremely anti-Semite. Exactly. This is very.
But you want them to be able to function in a classroom and say their ideas. That's what a safe space, not having an intellectual
Give me an
space.
example of the group. What
I'm
group?
certain I didn't understand.
No, what
Maybe I
group?
didn't understand your question.
Okay, so I want to know. Okay, what I'm asking is, so you're trying to get rid of intellectual safe spaces,
5
right?
minutes.
So I want to
Okay,
know.
thank you.
Give me an example of a group on campus that's an intellectual safe space that you are trying to get rid of. Like what?
Here's an
You know,
example
give me a name, like of a group.
of a group that holds intellectual
Yes.
space. Okay. Can I give you an example of something that happened at our last meeting?
No,
that
just
I
give me a
believe-
name. I want a name, like a name. Just give me a group, like a group.
Together
Yeah.
to be here right now.
So okay, let me ask you this. So,
I didn't ask your
the
space to be
BSC
intellectually
so-
safe. I asked to challenge it.
So, like-
That's different, and that's what you're asking for, political discourse. So I was challenging your beliefs. So I hope you wasn't going to use the last meeting, because that falls within line with what you're trying to create. So I hope that's not the example you was going to use.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Okay, let me give you an example. So,
Okay.
like the Black Student Union, are you trying to get rid of a group like that?
Oh, absolutely not.
Then what are you doing?
If you can't name an intellectual safe space that you're actually trying to get rid of, then what is the purpose of your group other than to be here and remind us that we're all fucking hated?
We're just asking like,
absolutely,
what's
Josh.
the group?
I think we're not after any specific group or any group at all. The intellectual safe space, we believe, and we've seen from around the country, encompasses the whole campus. We don't feel that conservative ideas are, I don't want to say protected, but we've seen them shouted down. We've seen people assaulted because of them.
But we hear
We
that.
hear Can I say something? Can I say something?
For example.
There's plenty of examples.
No,
example.
we're giving him a response. We hear him in the classroom all the
I would like to
time.
build on his point.
Okay, you can, but do you understand we hear conservative ideas in the classroom all the time? We're told that they don't think racism exists. They don't think marginalized
we believe
identities.
racism exists.
You
don't,
said at the
but
last meeting that you do not believe that
did
there is
say that.
institutional
You
racism
racism.
on
You
this
did say
campus.
that.
There is
But
video proof
let
of
me
that.
say this. Can we get back to this? What you're saying is you don't think conservative ideas can be shared in the classroom as a marginalized identity. I am literally giving conservative ideas every single time we talk any controversial issue. So I don't know how you're saying that you guys are being marginalized or attacked. To me, this only comes down to white fragility. I will say that word and I will say it over and over
You're
again.
not being systematically murdered.
Because you're being problematic and addressed, you guys feel uncomfortable. We feel that on a daily basis. We feel uncomfortable every time we walk on this campus
anyone
because
here
we're
feel
at a PWI.
Okay, what I do not understand.
Do you
like,
feel uncomfortable?
say-
Answer your own question.
You
No,
say,
absolutely not.
Okay, so you say.
I love this because
Then
it's
why did
political
you
discourse.
ask if someone felt uncomfortable?
Okay, you say demolish
I was asking my
intellectual.
group.
Hey, you say demolish intellectual safe spaces. I still haven't heard of one intellectual safe space that you're
His
talking
example is a classroom? Is that what you're saying? In the
No,
classroom?
I would say the campus as a whole.
A campus as a whole.
I can give you but let's get funding from you.
No, I mean, I can give you an example.
Yes,
like,
thank you.
The University of Washington had a Students for Trump meeting. I know it's bad, right? But that's subjective.
No.
It's bad.
Okay, let him finish.
And
Well,
guys,
what happened-
This is going to be the last word at the meeting. I've got somewhere to-
What happened at the Students for Trump meeting at Washington is the local.
Cigars and beer, right?
Yes.
It's the local like. It's like the local leftists and the communist group came in and they tore down their signs and they shut everybody up whose ideas they didn't agree with and they forced the group to disband at that
So
time.
where's that OKU?
Signs were torn down on Tuesday.
Well,
Yeah.
last Thursday I believe, because you
Because we
might,
came in and had political discourse?
no, you came in and shouted over people.
No, I didn't. I shouted when you said blacks, when you said illegal, when there should be a wall. You want wanted the right to say illegal, and you misgendered my friends over and over again. That's when I shouted out you. And I have that humanity where I can shout when you come for me with hate speech in a room. So I need you to know that. Listen here. Marginalized folks is a new breed, honey. We're not the same ones y'all was dealing with in the 60s. And that's gonna let you know. Let you know. We've been cowards. You've educated us about them same fundamentals you was talking about that we supposed to have access to. So we do know the Constitution. We do know our rights. And even though our communities are suffering under white supremacy still, we got our heads up. And so every time you meet, we'll continue to have political discourse. And we'll let you run to your cigar and beers after, even though we took time out our day to be here. But listen, here.
But the thing is, like, I still
Like
don't
I
get
said.
the point of the group, though.
Over and over again asking, what is the goal of this group? What are you doing? How are you going to dismantle these spaces? Not a single person has an
You want to hear the alt-right spews out racist propaganda all the time, but you have one of your board members saying racist shit all the time, saying illegals and calling us blacks. Like, really?
Okay,
Really?
for the record, I was not the one who said blacks. And
No, she right there. No, it's not.
I apologize. I did not know. I apologize.
How can you not know in 2016 it's problematic to say black?
And you're calling us
And then you told me whiteness? That's not.
You have white privilege.
How do you know what I have?
Because if you're in academia, you have to understand white privilege. And just so y'all know, usually colleges are very liberal places. So maybe you should go to a more conservative setting because usually they're progressive places. So yes, exactly. Like everyone knows that. And when you push conservative ideas and they're violent, you're always going to get a response. You can call me blacks and not get a response.
I never said
And
that.
then someone say they didn't know blacks was a derogatory word, and then tell me I can't say whiteness when that's the actual terminology,
Well,
and
you
then
just-
ask what blackness is, and me have to tell her this shit right here.
You just
Like-
you just told me that, oh, this place is a liberal place. And a
No, I
progressive
say
place.
colleges overall tend to be liberal
Right,
places.
so conservative ideas aren't welcome.
No, they're
That's what
always
I'm
welcome
saying.
because you guys are here. They were designed for you,
That's what-
white
that's what my
students.
point.
Do you understand
You're
colleges
proving
were
my point.
designed for white students? Do you understand colleges were designed for white students? That's why there's HBCUs and other student institutions that cater to us because only white people could get an education at some point. You understand that, right?
Anybody can get an education right now.
And that's called access, not equity.
So where's the institutional racism?
Institutional racism is barriers and policies that reinforce white supremacy. I just told you disparities in education, inferior education given to one population and superior education being given to white people. I gave you that example last time, and I will give it to you again.
It just doesn't hold up to reason.
The numbers are there. Are you not a researcher?
Use Google.
Hey, I have a question. I'm not trying to yell at
Yeah.
anybody, but I actually for you guys, what inspires you guys to be conservative? I think that's the question nobody's asking that needs to be asked. We want to understand you. Like, I understand she's telling you her point of view, but
I believe that.
what's your point of view? Why are you conservative?
I believe that limited government as a whole, as we've seen throughout history, is the most beneficial thing for all people.
For all people.
So why
That's going on in Syria. He's bombing his own people. That's pretty
This boy said we inspire you to be conservative. We marginalized identities inspire you to be. I literally just heard you say that to her. You said this right here inspires you to be conservative.
No, I'm saying.
We inspire you.
I went like
How
this.
disrespectful can you get?
For one, I never
Did you?
said
And that is hate speech.
didn't-
I need to
That
call
right
it what it
there is
is.
hate speech.
That
How
is hate speech.
disrespectful
And
can
you
you
couldn't
get?
say it out loud.
You can yell at me.
Don't you tell her to calm down. You are not going to tell her to calm down. Don't do that. Don't do that.
Go get your cigars. Go get your cigars.
Go get y'all cigars.
Tell them how do I inspire you?
I move my finger like this.
Yeah?
This time they're trying to talk to everybody else.
You said this right here. Heard it
And
once.
then you try to say you didn't say it.
I heard it.
We'll watch the
I heard it. You can watch the live feed. You can look
Can we go to Jabari? Did y'all want to go to Jabari?
You're real. It's not worth it. Really not worth it. White men are never worth it. You can watch it. It's on so many.